Shalom, it's the Ark of Yisrael, Joshua, peace and unity be upon the flock of the nations, peace and unity be upon the flock of Yisrael, Zion Echad, one flock, Ra'al Echad, one shepherd, peace and unity be upon us all. Today's lesson is inscribed the mark. I pray the message is seen with your spiritual eyes, heard through your spiritual ears, and perceived by the depths of your soul. That which is done shall be done. There is nothing new under the sun, for Yahuwah declares the end from the beginning. The book of Revelation speaks of a mark, but before we understand the mark that comes at the end, we must first understand how the mark came at the beginning. Mark in Hebrew is the word tav, meaning signature. A signature, Israel, identifies someone or it identifies something to someone. Now, Adam received the Most High's signature. It identified Adam to the Most High. Adam received Yahuwah's mark, which is why it's written, Yahuwah said, "Let us make Adam in our image and in our likeness." The image was the signature. The likeness was the mark. And this was the mark given to man in the beginning. Now that we have a better understanding of the mark, let's receive a better understanding of where the mark was given. Now I tell you, Israel, man, looking upon his flesh, truly believes that he is beholding the Most High's image, the Most High's likeness, the Most High's mark, believing that upon his flesh is where the mark has been given. But I tell you, man has truly been deceived and does err, not knowing the scriptures. Man was not created in Elohim's image and likeness outwardly, since it is written, God is not a man. But he was created in Elohim's image and likeness inwardly, since Elohim is spirit. Therefore, it was not the outward body of a man that bore the image and likeness of Elohim. It was the inner spirit of man that bore the image and likeness of Elohim. This is confirmed in the creation of man. It's written, "Let us make man in our image and likeness." This is Genesis 1. Later it reads, Yahuwah Elohim formed man out of the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and man became a living soul, showing us that man was made in the Most High's image and likeness before a body was even formed for man. Therefore, it is the soul of a man that was first made in Yah's image and likeness, which was then placed into the body formed out of the dust of the ground. Therefore, your outward appearance has nothing to do with the image and likeness of Yahuwah. As it is written, man looks at the outward appearance, but Yahuwah looks at the heart. It is the heart or the soul of a man that bears the image and the likeness and the signature and the mark of Yahuwah. The Father does not see the image and likeness in our body, but he sees his image and likeness in our souls. So Israel, understand, the soul bears the mark, not the body. This is how it was done in the beginning. This is how it shall be done in the end. As it is written, he declares the end from the beginning. Now that we understand what the mark was, we understand where the mark was placed. Let's understand what the mark looked like. Knowing the mark was not placed on the body, we know it was not an earthly mark, but it was placed on the soul. Therefore, it has to be spiritual, a spiritual mark. Yah's word is spirit, and the mark of Al-Hayim is his word. It is written, in the beginning was the word, and the word was with Al-Hayim, and the word was Al-Hayim. Now Adam was created in the image of Al-Hayim. Therefore Adam was created in the image of the word. The word is the image. It is the likeness. It is the signature. It is the mark. When our soul looks like his word, we look like Al-Hayim and bear his image, likeness, and mark to the world. Yah identifies his people through marks. It's written, you will know them by their fruit. The fruit is the mark to identify his people. And scripture tells us the seed is the word. Therefore, seed produces fruit. Yet again, showing us the word is what produces the mark. Now understand, Israel, the fruit that we produce is the fruit of the Spirit, showing us again the mark is of the Spirit and not the body. Now in the Torah, concerning the commandments of Yah's word, it's written, bind them for a sign, which in Hebrew is oath or mark, upon thy hand, and they shall be on the frontlets between thy eyes, which is upon the head. So, as a mark, Yisrael would bind the word upon their hand and upon their head. They did this in the natural, but Paul says the law is spiritual, meaning it is not about a scripture being bound to your hand. It is about the works of your hands being bound to the words of his scripture. It is not about the word being bound to your forehead. It is about your mind being bound to his word. This is when you have received his mark. When your mind is bound to this world, when the works of your hands are bound to building this world and not his kingdom, this is when your head and your hands have received the mark of the beast. Because the beast is the ruler of this world. Computer chips are not in Genesis. They are not in the Torah. They are not in the prophets. This doctrine connects us to a natural understanding of the word, of which it is written should be spiritually discerned. So let's focus on the marks that appear on our soul and less on things that deal with the flesh of the body. For as it is written, man looks at the outward appearance, but Al-Hayim looks at the heart, which is the soul. He will be looking for what's marked in the heart or soul, not what's marked on the body. So Shalom Yisrael. I pray that you have eyes to see. I pray that you have ears to hear. Eyes of the Spirit, ears of the Spirit, so we could discern spiritual things. Shalom. Zion Echad, one flock. Ra'al Echad, one shepherd. Peace and unity be upon us all. Shalom.